Obviously disappointed to come away with the loss today, but what can you take into next week from that loss?
Oh, there's a lot, I guess. I mean, it was a pretty good game of footy between two good teams, and obviously 9 points the difference in the end sums that up. From the negative point of view, that third quarter was pretty poor by us, and credit to Launceston. They were great around the ball, they worked hard, they played smart footy in that quarter, and they really gave themselves a shot at pinching that second spot, and then probably the opposite in the last quarter, where our guys really lifted their work rate, executed the way we wanted to play in the conditions out here, with the softer ground, and pleasing from that. I thought the first half we played well. That first quarter the wind was really blowing for those first 20 minutes before the rain came, and I thought we held on really well in that quarter, and to get to quarter time within striking distance was pleasing. So I mean, I guess we came into this game knowing we were probably going to play Launceston next week, and that they're a very tough team to play, and we walk away, probably learning a couple of new things about them, but knowing it'll be a really tough game next week.
Down by 35 points at three-quarter time, and second spot well and truly on the line. What did you say to your boys to really get them up and going in that last quarter?
Oh, we just had to, we had to be smarter with the way we were executing around the contest. And then we just had to up our work rate. They were the ones playing on the front foot, and they got momentum. The crowd got behind them. It got pretty loud, and our guys became a little bit reactive. And so we just had to wrestle the game back. And they got the first goal of the last quarter, so it became a real test. And I thought, in terms of that, while the result was disappointing, that test in the final quarter, the guys really passed it with flying colours.
You're still on that last quarter. They got that early goal and put them up by 41 points. You had a lot of players really fight it out to the end. Who did you assess as your best players today?
Oh, Daniel Joseph was fantastic and played a role we needed him to in that last quarter to sort of help negate their stoppage work. And I thought he was excellent. Braden Webb had a great game as well. And then, your usual suspects like Harrison Gunther and Jay Bowden and Cal Daly. I thought Cal's ability to win contests was excellent. But look, it was a day, to be honest. We're not a fan of playing three quarters of football, and that's what we did today. So we don't really walk away pleased with the performance. There aren't too many guys that would put their hand up and say, I played really well. We'll take some stuff out of it. The season has been a good one to date to finish in second spot. Obviously you take that, you get a final in Hobart. So we'll study what happened today and we'll roll into next week.
What advantage does a home final bring?
Oh, that's a good question. It's sort of, for everyone except North Launceston and Clarence, it's neutral venues. The travel's obviously a factor. I think if you look at Launceston, I think they've only lost one game here at Windsor Park this year. So travelling up here obviously is a challenge, and Lonnie have, I think with the exception of a game at Bellerive against Clarence where they played really well early in the year, they've probably struggled heading down south. But I don't know that it means a lot. It's a final next week. If we come ready to play like we did in the last quarter, then we'll have a good day. But if it's more like the third quarter, then we'll have the work in front of us.
Without giving away all your secrets, what can you do next week to better Launceston?
Oh, I think as a team, when we get our starting points right, that's the main thing I ask from the players, like work rate, desperation to defend and get your starting points right. And we just didn't in the third quarter. And that sort of structure falling away a little bit, it made it just harder. It made it harder work. Guys were caught out of position. When we got the ball back, we're under pressure because there wasn't someone there to give it to. So that's the big one. And we'll just be able to show the guys some examples of that and just stress the importance of it, because you take away the first quarter last week and the third quarter this week, we've been really good at that over the last month, and really for the most part over the last couple of months we've been pretty good in that. So we just got to make sure we're switched on from the start.
Any injuries to take out today, and any foreseen changes for next week at all?
Potentially we could get Mitch Rainbird back next week, which would be really good. He's such a good stoppage player and such a versatile player. Apart from that, I think it'll stay pretty similar next week, and touch wood, we get a good bill of health out of this one.
All right. First of all, congrats on the win. What can you take into next week from what ended up being quite a close game?
Yeah, obviously what we're going to see in the first round of finals is exciting football. So the finish of that game was a nail biter, and it's replicated the way we played the last time we played Glenorchy at home, and we won by 1 point. So the two teams this year have played two really exciting games against each other. So that tells me that next week's going to be pretty good for the people that like and enjoy watching a high quality game of football.
Leading by 41 points early in that last quarter, did the prospect of taking second place off the Magpies come into your mind at all?
To be honest, not mine. One of the coaches did mention it, and I hadn't even contemplated it until that point in time. So for me, I've always been focused on the process and making sure that we can control what we can control. And if that turned out that the way we played led into 60 points or more, then fantastic result. If it meant that we won by 10 points, and that was just the way that we played, and what we can control is that result. So for me personally, no, but certainly there was talk from assistant coaches in the box.
I thought the game was really won in that third quarter with 8 goals to 1. What did you say to the players at half time to make them come out and play like that?
Yeah, it's just obviously the first half was an arm wrestle. Two really good teams going toe to toe for a half a footy, and that's why it was it sort of went one way for us, and then one way for Glenorchy in quarter by quarter of the first two, and the third quarter was about just focusing and continuing to drive on what we want to deliver. And the team that can do that and focus on footy for the longest usually has those 10 or 15 minute periods where they get control of the game.
Chase Jones' third quarter was really good, while Jake Hines was also impressive. Who did you assess as your best players today?
Yeah, I certainly thought Chase was fantastic today. He's been incredible over the last month. I think it was funny, he kicked that goal. Well, we had a really good crew of the D-League behind the goals this week, and he kicked that goal, which is definitely a contender of goal of the year. And he's a leader amongst his own age bracket. Those guys behind the goal seen it. They went bananas over the way he went about it and the celebration. So that's fantastic to see from him. And it's exciting as a coach to coach a player like that. Also, Rushton today was fantastic. He finished with 3 goals. I thought he kicked some crucial goals, and then we threw him on board in that last 10-minute period where Glenorchy had a bit of a run, and he gave us a competitive personnel around the football to just drive the footy forward in that last 5 minutes.
What difference do you think playing in Hobart will make next week, and do you think your players are going confident after today's win?
Yeah, certainly. Today means we've beaten all sides in the top 5 bar 1. The last time we played that team, we lost by 1 point. So the next 4 weeks is certainly exciting for our footy club and exciting for our playing group, and they know they're capable of achieving high standards and setting high standards for themselves.
Any injury concerns out today?
Touch wood, I think at this stage nothing. Mitch sort of went down. Mitch thought went down in the third quarter, or maybe early in the first, with a bit of a niggle, but then come back on and finish the game out. So no doubt he'll pull up sore, and as you do when you're approaching 30, knocks and bumps, hurt a little bit more the next day. But the fact that he played the game out tells me that he was moving pretty well. Any
potential changes for next week at all?
Yeah, certainly. Dill Riley. So Dill Riley's played all year for us, so he becomes available next week. Tom Mundy was crook all week during the week and didn't get a training session in, so we decided to ice him this week. So two key players to our best 22 that will be available next week.
And you've already mentioned the goal by Chase, but after seeing a fantastic goal like that today, we'll be seeing Chase Jones in the AFL doing the similar things next year, do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a clip of that's an elite clip. That 15 seconds of play there by Chase is unimaginable. What recruiters look at that and just know that he's at a level above most other players in his own age bracket. So I'm excited to watch and follow Chase Jones' journey over the next 12 or 13 years.